Since 7th grade, I have struggled with depression. It is a struggle that I deal with every day. Most of the world's population goes through depression at least once in their lives, and yet no one is able to talk about it to one another. People live in fear of others' judgments and think their depression will be viewed as a weakness. Society says that people with depression are weak and cannot deal with the daily pressures of the world. Yet science says that depression is a mental illness that anyone can have. Depression is not something that should be taken lightly, and it is often misunderstood. For depression is an illness, not a weakness. There's a difference between an illness and a weakness. Anyone can have a weakness. A weakness is when someone lacks the strength or ability to do or defeat something. A weakness is also part of someone's personality, also known as a flaw. This is very different from an illness. An illness is something someone is born with or receives throughout their lifetime and can't make it go away. An illness is also not something that you can always see. People every day hide their illness of depression. An illness can only go away if there is a possible treatment. Depression can only go away with treatment. People can be born with it or receive it throughout their life. DBSA says depression is not a character flaw or a sign of personal weakness. Just like you can't wish away diabetes or any other physical illness, you can't make depression go away by trying to snap out of it. Depression is not a sign that a person is weak or that it's just something to shrug off for later. It is a serious and real illness that people have. Anyone at any age and gender can get depression. More than 1 out of 20 Americans 12 years of age and older reported having current depression in 2009 to 2012, CDCP. People everywhere struggle with this mental illness. There is most likely someone sitting next to you that has depression or knows of someone with depression. If you know of someone with depression, think about what that person is like and how they act around you. Would you find that person to be weak? Would you find me to be weak? If so many people have depression and walk among us, why are we so quick to judge them? Depression is not something they can control. Society tells us constantly not to be weak. We judge others and try to be better, to be stronger. People will do anything to not be viewed as weak. This is one of the most common reasons why no one will talk about depression. So many people have it, yet hide it so that no one else will ever know that they are weak. Mental Health America states that too many people resist treatment because they believe it is a personal weakness rather than a serious illness. This belief of depression being a weakness is causing people to not seek help and instead possibly get worse. Since people don't seek treatment, they get worse and eventually commit suicide. Research has shown that 90% of people who kill themselves have depression, AAD. Society's view of depression being a weakness has caused people to harm those with depression rather than help them. This is because no one wants to or is willing to talk about it. Even the awareness of how serious depression is low. There's more awareness on drug abuse or sexting than on depression and suicide combined. Without the awareness of depression, the continuation of viewing depression as a weakness, no one with depression will seek help or understand that they need help. People with depression also start the coping method of cutting. This is when the person with depression self-harms himself to either feel something, even if it is just pain, or to focus on the physical pain rather than the mental. I have been one of those people. It is not a sign of weakness either. It is an unhealthy way of coping. With the view of depression being a weakness, cutting is also looked down upon. This judgment causes so many people to never reach out to one another. It is another way that the view of depression being a weakness has harmed others rather than helped them. Depression is not a weakness in any way or form. It is not something that someone could just wish away and it would be gone. Suicide links with our lack of knowledge on how serious depression is and the fact that it is not a weakness. Society should stop judging those with depression, for anyone can get it. Depression is something that will always be a part of our world and will be something that people will continue to struggle with. We need to lose our judgment and fear and come to the conclusion that depression is an illness and not a weakness.